Chapter 7, P's and Q's Bar in downtown Chokecherry. The street in front of P's and Q's had vehicles wedged into every available parking spot, some double parked. Casey parked his bike on a side street a few blocks away. Approaching the pub, a boombox played a beat sequence and Casey saw a woman flipping a promotional sign. She threw the sign above her head and it twirled back into her outstretched hands like a whirly tornado. "You're quite talented with that sign," Casey said. The woman ripped off her headphones and held the sign out in front of her. It was an advertisement for open mic night at P's and Q's. "This isn't my only skill, sweetheart," she winked at him. "Heading in to sing a song?" "I won't be doing any singing, but that's where I'm heading." She looked like something out of a cyberpunk video game with spiky pink and green hair, tattooed arms, and black lipstick. "Like what you see, darling?" The girl ran her hand between her breasts. 36C means I get in for free, if you know what I mean. "I wasn't trying to." "It's okay, I've been checking you out too." She looked him up and down. "Let me guess, you're a linebacker for the Roughnecks? Well, you can tackle me anytime." She pretended to do a Heisman pose. "A pro football player, I'm flattered." Casey scratched the back of his head. "So, what's your name?" "People call me Hype Chick, but you can call me whatever you want, darling." "I like your vibe. My name is Casey." He bit his lower lip. "Okay, I better head in and check out the talent." "Suit yourself." Hype Chick put her headphones back on and threw her sign in the air. "All the talent you're ever gonna need is right here." Casey scurried down the sidewalk. "Oh my God," he muttered. "I think I need to come downtown more often." His mind went back to the cucumber melon girl at the U. Or maybe just hang out on campus. A man larger than a silverback gorilla stood in front of the main entrance to the pub with his arms crossed. He wore all black and had a name tag that read Herc. Someone was singing inside the pub and Casey moved for the door. "Wait for the song to finish." Herc had a deep, guttural voice. "No problem." Casey loitered outside of the pub. There was a green neon sign in the window promoting jackalope juice. He'd take Truckee up on his offer to buy him a glass of jack juice. A black Jolly Roger flag flapped above the sign for P's and Q's. Someone had a matte gray Res Vonnie tank parked right in front. Casey had never seen one in person, but had watched several YouTube videos about how Res Vonnie converted Jeeps into the civilian equivalent of a military tactical vehicle. With a starting price close to $200K, Casey knew the tanks were bulletproof with electromagnetic pulse protection and thermal night vision systems. He swiveled his head and saw Herc observing him. "Keep dreaming, kid." Herc snickered. "Belongs to the treasure hunter." Of course Geronimo would have a tank, Casey thought. The crowd gave a loud applause from inside and Herc opened the front door. "All right, hurry in." The flood of noise hit him as he entered. Glasses clinked together, chairs slid across the wooden floor, and a room full of people chattered to musical forte levels. The pub was decorated in pirate theme. There were wooden barrels for tables surrounded by high chairs. Swords and pictures of ancient nautical maps lined the walls. People were standing 3 deep at the main wooden bar, competing for the attention of the bartenders. Above the bar were 2 enormous chalkboards with a ladder that slid on rails between them. One chalkboard had a label that read pints, the other one quarts. A bartender was on the ladder writing a name on one of the chalkboards. Next to the names were chalk marks, a few with diagonal lines through them signifying a cluster of 5. Casey couldn't see Truckee, but figured his best bet was the center of the bar. He wedged his body through the sea of people on his way. "Ladies, gentlemen, and buccaneers." The MC, dressed like Captain Jack Sparrow, spoke into a mic on a makeshift stage. "Up next, we got one of our favorite local children's musicians. Let's hear it for Flip Kenny." The crowd let out a cheer, and Casey used the shift in attention to squeeze into a small crevice in the middle of the main bar. "I thought I'd find you here." Casey nudged an elbow into Truckee's ribs. "I'm ready to try that jackalope juice." "Casey!" Truckee gave him a smile wider than the Continental Divide. His cheeks were rosy red. "I'll have one with you." He leaned over the bar and tugged at the bartender's sleeve. "Nita, baby girl, do me a huge solid and pour us 2 pints of jack juice." The bartender, a slender female dressed in a pirate costume, stuck her tongue out at Truckee. "I'm not your baby girl." "You never called me back," Truckee said. "I thought we had a real connection." "I don't date drifters." Nita propped 2 pint glasses under the tap. "I've been a North Dakotan for years now," Truckee protested. "I don't date married men." "I already told you, my Act 1 wife left during the first intermission with the kids. You don't have to worry about her. She's all about this open marriage thing anyway. For you, I'll sign her papers right now and I'll make you Acts 2 and 3. You live in a truck on a campground." Nita spun away and slid the ladder to the pints board. for now, but imagine what we could build together. Everyone knows the climax is in Act 3. Truckee called after her, but she didn't take the bait. He turned to Casey. Nita Frost. Now that's a woman. Truckee patted his jacket pockets. Damn, I was going to give you something, but I can't find it right now. I'll give it to you later. When do you sing? The next performer tuned his acoustic guitar on stage while doing a mic check. After this douchebag. Truckee shook his head. Bastard wins every other time. Crowd loves him because he can make up songs about anything. Not to mention when this place got shot up back on Cinco de Mayo, he took a freaking bullet, and he's already back at it. It's supposed to be North Dakota's version of Blippi or some shit, but the guy drinks like a fish. Heard he got fired from being a teacher at the local school district after 20-some years of teaching. Tells me something right there. I'll bet you $50 he sings a song about Memorial Day. A song about Memorial Day sounds too weird to be real. I'll take that bet. Casey could smell the alcohol in Truckee's breath. He watched Nita climb the ladder holding a piece of chalk. The additional 2 marks next to Smoot's name brought Truckee's total to 10. She slid down the ladder using her boots to stop her momentum. She poured 2 glasses of Jack juice out on the tap and slid them across the bar table. Casey had heard about the shootout here earlier in the month, just before he arrived in state. He spotted several bullet holes in the walls and wondered if they were pirate decor or from the bikers. Thanks, honey butter. Truckee threw some ones in a tip jar and clanked the side of Casey's glass with his. Salute. He gulped back half the drink and wiped his mouth with the back of his sleeve. Casey took a sip of his Jack juice and let the crisp taste of sweet apples tickle his mouth before gulping it down. I have to admit, this is quite refreshing. See? Hey, have you heard any more about the shootout here a few weeks ago? Truckee shrugged. In a city like this, a shootout like that is old news. The thing I love about Chokecherry is the pub gets shot up by a bunch of outlaw bikers after the owner, this Gleck guy, calls for a day of Carnage de Mayo. Gleck always wears business suits around his establishments and has a crew of his own agents. Calls them the Loss Prevention Agents. They look like Secret Service dudes. They killed a bunch of bikers and some other gangbangers around town that night. A few weeks later, bullet holes everywhere and P's and Q's is packed full of people having a great time like nothing happened. It's like living in the Wild West of yesteryear, except it's not an ode to the past. It's a way of life for the Chokecherryans. Sure, I would never raise a family here, but as a drifter, it's entertaining. Plus, there's no one to do anything about it anyway. Keystone cops around here with limited municipal involvement. This here's a song about Memorial Day, Flip said into the mic. I told you. Truckee slapped his back. Next 10 drinks are on you, buckaroo. Flip strummed his guitar and sang in a tenor voice. Sure, it's fun to have a long weekend, perhaps a road trip or a barbecue. But before you crack open a Bud Light, remember what this day means to you. Yeah, remember what this day means to you. Flip wore suspenders over a mustard yellow shirt with horizontal red stripes that matched his blazing red eyeglasses. Sounds pretty good, Casey spoke into Truckee's ear. Truckee stuck his thumb down. Anyone who knows 3 chords and the truth can make up songs. I'll show you around the campsite sometime. Anyways, something's off about that guy. Not just his clown outfit or the hair gel and his mustache, but I swear something else. I can feel it. And what's with the name Flip Kenny? What's with the name Truckee Smoot? Is that your real name, or did you just adopt it once you got behind an 18-wheeler? Truckee adjusted the red, white, and blue foam trucker hat on his forehead. No, it's my real name. My parents were ski instructors at Lake Tahoe back in the wild days of the early 80s. They met at a bar in a city in California called Truckee. The seasonal tryst turned into a baby, and they named me after the place where they conceived me. Now they go back to Burning Man every year and commemorate my birth by fornicating in a tent out in the desert within driving distance of Truckee, California. That's way too much information. Casey took another swig. For your additional situational awareness, I enjoy driving a truck out on the open road, and now I get paid a trailer load of cash to haul oil around the state. Thank you very much. Flip's melody was catchy, but the song felt like a ballad longer than the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. It might be the last Monday of May, but those patriots, yeah, they paved the way. We head in the cemetery to pray, for this is the Soldier's Day. This frickin' guy, Truckee's voice raised. Shh. A grizzled man next to Casey nudged him. Show some respect. The shusher had arm sleeve tattoos and a Sunto core watch. Casey wanted to buy a Sunto, but after he blew his entire high school and college job savings to purchase the Mini Winnie and bike, he could only afford the G-Shock. Sorry for my friend, Casey whispered back. Flip strummed his last chord and the crowd gave a wild applause. Truckee booed and Casey took another swig of his drink. Truckee straightened his back as the MC introduced him. Wish me luck. You got this. Casey flashed him a rock-on sign and leaned an elbow against the bar. The man with the Sunto filled Truckee's vacated spot and ordered 3 whiskeys from Nita. How do you like your Sunto core? The The man looked down at Casey's wrist. It's one of the best tactical watches on the market. The G-Shock isn't bad either. I had one of those back in the day. That's cool. I looked at getting a Sunto. Casey let his voice trail off when the man took his whiskeys and left for the back corner of the bar. There was a door marked VIP with 2 security guards in black suits in front of it. They wore earpieces with wires that trailed into their shirt collars. They looked like the type of guards that would protect POTUS. One guard touched his ear and said something. The other guard opened the VIP door and Casey peeked inside. He spotted an older bald gentleman in a blue dress suit. Sitting next to the bald man was Geronimo, his fedora hat on the table beside him. They leaned toward each other and were engaged in conversation. The man with the Sunto gave the guards a slight head nod and entered the VIP room with the drinks, the guard shutting the door behind him. This one's a classic from Johnny Cash for all you rough and tumble Chokecherryans out there. Truckee spoke into the mic. Casey turned back to the stage as Truckee strummed chords on his acoustic guitar. He listened to Truckee's raspy baritone as he sang about how God was going to cut everyone down. At the end, Casey got up on a stool and led a loud applause. When the crowd's clapping subsided, he feared Truckee's support wasn't as robust as Flip's ovation. That was outstanding. You did the man in black justice with that number. Casey gave Truckee a fist pound when he got back to the bar. Thanks. I hope it's enough to beat Flipper. The MC got back on the mic and lowered his eye patch. Send that hat around the room one last time before we announce tonight's winner. Casey looked down at the end of the bar and saw Flip throw back 2 shots of dark liquor like he was eating Skittles. A pirate hat full of crumpled bills passed in front of Casey and he threw a $20 bill in. The hat surfed through the crowd until it made it to the stage. Casey looked toward the closed VIP door and realized he had little chance to share a drink with Geronimo. He wasn't interested in Geronimo's oil positions, but maybe the internship. Whoa, big pot tonight! The MC held the pirate hat up and a few bills fell out. Drum roll, please. Please be me, Truckee whispered next to Casey. Tonight's winner is none other than Flip Kenny! Truckee pounded his fists on the bar. Damn it! Casey patted Truckee in the back. You'll get him next time, but you better work on some original songs. Nita appeared with a receipt for Truckee's tab. Casey grabbed it before Truckee could see it. Better let me take this one tonight.